That moment when you realize why this movie's called Irresistible. I see what you did there, John. Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Irresistible, which hits VOD this Friday. This film was written and directed by Jon Stewart, and it stars Steve Carell, Chris Cooper, Rose Byrne, as the film centers around a Democratic strategist who is helping a retired veteran run for mayor in a small Midwest conservative town. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I enjoyed about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay your way to see this film when it drops on VOD this Friday. I don't know about you guys, but I do not have any coins to waste. So going into what I enjoyed about Irresistible, really from a script standpoint, I love the idea behind Irresistible, kind of this look into elections that really leaves the audience wondering, who do elections benefit? What is the purpose of elections necessarily, especially within small towns? Does it benefit the candidates? Does it benefit these big political companies? Or does it just really benefit the people in these small towns where we're having these elections? And I think they have a very interesting and satirical way as to how, from a writing standpoint, how they kind of cover this topic, which is very relevant, mainly because we're in the middle of an election year all over again. It's just like 2016. I felt like it was so close, but clearly it's been 4 years, and I felt every year of it. But also, too, it is a very neutral film. I know a lot of people like, okay, Jon Stewart, we know him from The Daily Show. We know his thoughts on politics. He's very vocal. But I was really shocked to see that the film is so neutral, because I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my goodness, it's a political film. Oh my goodness, they're going to be far left, they're going to be far right, or they're just going to be SJW. Because you guys love just saying SJW at any movie that like has some type of like realistic concept. I don't know. But I would have to say that the film is very neutral. It makes fun of everyone. Literally, there's not one party that gets beat up more than the other. I thought that it was very even across the board. Literally just making fun of the entire election process. But also too, and I'll get into that, into the cons that I have about it. I'll save that. But I have to say that I really do love the performances. Chris Cooper is just fantastic. Like, what can this man not do? Every time I see him in a row, I'm just like, it doesn't matter what he says, I'm still gonna like him because he's just a likable person. And his character in this film is Jack Hastings. Is a very likable guy, a very down-to-earth guy who decides that he's going to run for mayor with the convincing of Gary Zimmer, played by Steve Carell. And I really just love watching Chris Cooper on screen. He's just such a delight to watch in anything. But I love Steve Carell as well. I thought he did a fantastic job. But for me, the standout is Rose Byrne. This woman is funny. She's hilarious. I love her in almost everything that she does. But as we kind of see these opposing sides between Faith and Gary, and they get into their antics of how they're going to take each other's campaigns down, I think that that's where the movie is at its best, even though we don't get to see it as much. And I'll get into that when we talk about the cons. But I do like the feeling that I had when I finished watching Irresistible. I think that it's something that kind of stays with you after a while, even though it's a funny film. It still has a lot of seriousness to it. Especially when we get into the end credits, after we kind of realize, what the purpose that Irresistible was supposed to bring to the audience, what it was supposed to leave you thinking about. I think that it's a film that will make you go and do research on other things, or really try to explore this topic that was explore the topic of elections that was kind of explored through comedy throughout the film. Now, even though I had things that I really did enjoy about Irresistible, I do have some issues, and I really think that there's a tonal issue to the film. Like I said, for me, my final verdict of the film is that I'm going to say that this film is meant to be satire, is meant to be a comedy, but there's moments in the film where things feel so serious and so dramatic that I was like, is this a dramedy? Are they being serious? I think for the first part of the film, I was like, I think they're being serious. But then as I kind of got into the middle and definitely towards the end, I was like, I don't think they're being serious anymore. I think this is really meant to be a comedy. And there's funny moments in Irresistible. It's not like, oh, knee slapper, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. No, it's not. But there are some fun things that happen with Rose Byrne and also to Steve Carell's character that would definitely make you giggle, make you laugh. And especially as you see them make fun of all of these stereotypes of things that happen, whether it's through the news cycles or through the candidates or through supporters that we we see during the election cycle, those things definitely do make you laugh. But I think also too, what I would have to say is that I wanted to see more of this rift between Faith and Gary and between Rose and Steve's characters, because I think that is where the film is at its best, is when we see them literally acting out of order, out of line, as they're trying to make sure that their candidates win. And I wish that because Rose Byrne is so funny in the scenes that she's in the film, I felt like she was underutilized for the most part. And a lot of the characters were. There's a lot of people in this film, but I don't think they get enough chance to shine. And I think that's also too, even though I like the idea of what Irresistible is about the concept that Jon Stewart created, I think sometimes the writing was very limited for what the characters could do, what the characters could necessarily explore in this election world that they thrust us upon in this small Midwest town. But also too, I would have to say, even though I love the message that Irresistible left me with, I felt that the ending was very abrupt. I was like, what? Okay, I see what you guys were trying to do here. And then as I'm getting into it, I was like, oh, but the movie's over. Oh, wow. So we're not going to explore it? No, we're not going to do it? Okay, I guess I have to figure it out on my own. But I will tell you guys, there are some mid-credits, end credits that are happening that kind of go into a little bit more explanation around like this point that Jon Stewart is trying to convey with the film that I think is very interesting. You should definitely stay tuned for. But overall for me, even though at times Irresistible feels like it's tonally off, I think due to the great cast, the performances, and the general idea of what Irresistible brings to the audience at the end of the film, I would have to say I still enjoyed it. I had a good time watching the film. I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I wasted my life, I wasted my coins or anything like that. I didn't spend my coins, but this is me trying to help you guys learn if you should spend your coins or not. But what I would tell you guys to do during your coins, I would tell you guys to pay to see this film. I had a good time. Is it knee slapper funny? No. But does it have a good message? And does it have kind of a surprising message that it leaves you with that you totally don't see coming? Yes, I think it's definitely worth spending money to watch it. We ain't got nowhere else to go. Well, I guess you could go to the movies. But yeah, that's just not in my cards. But those are pretty much my thoughts on Irresistible. As always, my name is Sharona from Payroll Waits. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.